From tiny details like Yoshi and Mario's wing cap in the question block set, to biomes that change based on the color of the bricks. These are 24 small details you missed in LEGO Mario. If you put the LEGO Mario figure down and just leave him alone for a while, he doesn't sit there doing nothing. He starts to yawn and eventually nods off and snores to himself. Most people assume it's just a battery saver, but it's actually a callback to a certain Mario game. Back in Super Mario 64, if you stopped touching the controller, Mario would sit down, start falling asleep, then curl up in a ball and just go to bed. And there's a second half to this animation in LEGO that's even sneakier. When you actually do wake him up, he calls out for Luigi. Fans found this out back in April of 2021, and at the time, it made no sense because LEGO hadn't even made a Luigi figure yet. But then, later that year, LEGO actually released one. So a lot of people think LEGO was foreshadowing it with that Mario line. If you think this is cool though, there's a color sensor hidden between Mario's shoes, and it reads whatever brick he's standing on. Yellow turns into the desert, green becomes grass, blue becomes water, and red becomes lava. But there's something extra with this one. He gets worried the second he lands on red, and if you leave him standing there for too long, he screams, his eyes turn into 2 X's, and he can't collect any coins for a few seconds. He basically dies from a brick, and the color sensor isn't even the only thing reading the world around him. If you put the cat Mario suit on him and put him against a wall, he'll start making cat noises and climb for extra coins. But lava isn't the only thing that can hurt him either. Once LEGO added the soda jungle biome, purple bricks started counting as poison. So when he stands on them, he starts taking damage just like he does with the lava. But here's the part most people never figure out. If you actually pick him up and shake him after stepping on something purple, you fling the poison off, cancel the damage, and earn coins for doing it. It's a super easy way to farm coins, and almost nobody does it on purpose. But did you know LEGO broke one of their biggest rules with this theme? We all know that stickers suck. But no matter what, we always have to apply them, right? Well, not this time. The scan code stickers come pre-applied straight out of the box, which had never happened in LEGO's history before this theme. However, they did have a good reason. The figures need these codes to work properly, so if a kid slaps one on all weird, it probably just wouldn't work. But there are only good things to say about the LEGO NES set. You probably know that the retro TV scrolls a level of Super Mario Bros. When you turn the crank. But what you might not know is that the plate sitting on top of that TV comes off, and underneath it is a scan code. If you put Mario up there and crank the lever, he makes sound effects to match whatever's happening on the screen. The NES is full of little secrets like this, but the buildable cartridge is the best one by far, because you can put it into the console just like you can in real life, and it even locks in place with a satisfying click. But if we're talking about hidden details, no set does it better than the question block set. And one you might not know about is the number of pieces. The set has exactly 2064, which is referencing Super Mario 64. Obviously, because of sets like the Saturn V rocket, we know this wasn't a mistake. It's just a little harder to notice because it isn't the entire piece count this time, only the last 2 digits. Here's the funny thing about that set though. You know how the official name of the set has Super Mario 64 in it? Well, it's funny because that block never actually showed up in Super Mario 64. That game had red, green, and orange blocks, and they had exclamation marks on them, not question marks. The yellow question mark block wasn't even added to Super Mario 64 until the DS remake came out years later. So they kind of messed up the name of the set, but it's so iconic that no one even cares. But let's open it up, because there are so many references hiding inside. If you look behind Peach's castle, you'll find a brick-built version of Yoshi, which feels completely random, but it actually isn't at all. When you collect all 120 stars in Super Mario 64, Yoshi shows up in that exact place. For some reason, he's one of the rewards for 100%ing the game, so LEGO put him there too for all the completionists. But there's more to this castle than just this. The whole front of it pops off to reveal the inside, where printed tiles recreate the famous painting portals to different worlds. There are 3 in total, all referencing different ones, and they're super easy to miss, just like the detail in the Bob-omb Battlefield section. Up on the little floating island, there's a single red block, and to most people, it's just a red block. But to real Mario fans, that floating island is exactly where you find the wing cap, the power-up that gives Mario wings and lets him fly around. LEGO referenced it in the most subtle way possible, but then there are the power stars. If you scan the rug inside Peach's castle with your Mario or Luigi figure, you can unlock 10 hidden stars by doing very specific things around the set. The cool part is that all 10 are named after real missions from Super Mario 64. There's Hot Foot It into the volcano, where you scan the middle of the volcano, Slip Slidin' Away, where you scan the ice over on Cool Cool Mountain, Explore the Castle Grounds, where you scan the grass. They didn't just bury rewards in this set. They rebuilt 10 actual missions from the game, and one of those 10 goes way deeper than the rest. To earn the star they call the perfect jump, you make Mario jump over and over again, and the way he moves, plus the noises he makes while he's doing it, is a nod to the backwards long jump. If you don't know what that is, it's a famous glitch that speedrunners abuse to fly through locked doors and break the game wide open. It's a super famous move in the speedrunning world, but my favorite of these 10 missions might be the one for the TikTok clock. In the original game, this is the level you reach by jumping into a giant clock on the wall, and the speed of everything inside depends on where the clock's hands are pointing when you jump in. So how do you unlock that star in LEGO? You scan the figure on the scan code, lay it sideways, then turn it like a key. The way you handle it in real life matches the level. Clearly, getting all 10 of these stars isn't very easy, but there's something waiting for you if you do. When the set first launched, one of the designers said if you manage to collect every single one, there's a final Easter egg waiting for you, but he wouldn't say what it was. So people had to go and find it for themselves. And it turns out, once you get all 10, both Mario and Luigi give you 100 coins. This is an insane amount, and the animation goes on for way longer than it should, I won't lie. But this next detail is somehow more hidden than this. Every single LEGO Super Mario set is built to connect to every other one through base plates. You're not really buying separate sets. You're buying pieces of one giant level that's snapped together into a single world. Hardly anybody talks about this, but to me, it's one of the coolest things in the entire theme. LEGO also makes bigger Mario sets for adults, and the play features here really stand out. Take the Mario and Yoshi set, for example. It's a really cool bitmap set of Mario riding Yoshi that actually moves. There's a handle at the base that makes Yoshi run, and a dial behind his head that pops his tongue out. But the thing that people skip right over is Mario himself. His cape is attached to him on a hinge, so when Yoshi runs, the cape actually flaps behind him. Carl Miriam and Dare McCabe are the guys who built this set, but they're also the masterminds behind the Question Block and the NES, so they clearly know how to make a good Mario set. And it only gets better with the Bowser set. He's got a hidden fireball loaded up in his mouth, and the thing no one warns you about is that it fires automatically the second you open his mouth past a certain point. So if you wanted to make him roar for a pose, you might get hit with a trans-orange missile. There's a lot more hidden stuff than just this though. A button tucked under his shell swings his head and neck around, and you can even pose his eyes and eyebrows with your hands. The coolest thing about this set though is that LEGO built a life-sized version to hype the release. It was 14 feet tall and used 663,900 bricks, so it definitely got people's attention. But I can't ignore what's hiding in Peach's castle. There's a nice little cake sitting on a platform, and it looks completely normal. But if you jump on the lever that's next to it really hard, a Goomba comes bursting out of it. The castle also tells a quiet little story with its colors, if you're really paying attention. When you get to the throne room, the whole thing is decked out in purple and black, and that's wrong, because Peach's colors are white and red. Purple and black are Bowser's. The set never says a single word about it, but the message is obvious once you notice. Bowser has taken over the castle. And sure enough, there's a play feature that brings this message to life. There are also paintings hanging on the wall inside, and one of them is a Bob-omb. If you knock it off, there's a scan tag waiting behind it that rewards you for beating one. And if that setup sounds familiar, it should, because it's another nod to Super Mario 64. In that game, the paintings on the walls were portals you jumped into to reach each level. And LEGO did this same thing in the Question Block set. Clearly, they really like these paintings, but the Luigi's Mansion sets take that hidden object idea and run away with it. In the Haunt and Seek set, there's a bedroom, a dining room, and a bathroom, and every one of them is hiding a jewel. But the fun part is how you find them. To get them, you have to jump on the bed, smack the dining table, and flush the toilet. It's taken straight from the Luigi's Mansion games, where half the fun was moving the furniture just to see what was inside. And that's only part of what's in this set. The entire central hallway spins around so you can get to each room. The first plate changes the music to a spooky mansion theme the second you scan it. And you can even rescue a toad who's been trapped inside a painting on the wall. There's also a haunted pool table that twists around when you pull a lever, so you have to time it just right to grab all 3 coins before it spins them out of reach. It's genuinely super interactive, but when Donkey Kong joined the theme, his sets came with this stuff too. Donkey Kong's treehouse has a buildable TV, a radio, and an actual secret compartment built into it. And it's interactive on top of that. You can sit Mario on Donkey Kong's back and ride him around, take a nap in the hammock, and even play the conga drums, all just to rack up coins. But the Diddy Kong's minecart ride set has one of the most satisfying tricks in the entire theme. There's a rock sitting on the track, and you can make it explode to reveal a bunch of bananas hiding inside. Then over at Funky Kong's shop, there's a buildable airplane with not one, but 2 separate scan tags built into it. One fires when you buy balloons from him, and the other one fires when you take the plane up to fly. Honestly, Mario is one of the only themes left that are this playable. It just gets a bad rap because it doesn't have any minifigures. But which detail in this video surprised you the most? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.